Hello, welcome back. Week 4, Rival Recap Show. We're talking Jones Club football all day, all the time. And guys, Week 4 was a bounce back week. Week 3 was some stinkers all around. Most of those guys ended up having a pretty solid Week 4. And without further ado, we're just going to get into the weekly stats, guys. TJ Hawkinson, high player of the week. Christian Borelli, 39.9 points. Melvin Gordon, low start of the week, negative 1.2. But reading up on a little bit on Melvin Gordon with Javonte Williams out for the season, he's looking to be the featured back in this Thursday night game against the Colts this week. So maybe Ortiz will won't just send him to the bench after negative 1.2. Maybe he'll give him another chance. We'll see. But moving on, Lynch, Mr. Lynch, 158 points, high score of the week. Very nice stuff. Really, your team had some up and downs, but that is definitely an up, and you got to be happy with that one. Other side, Charlie, 69 points, low of the week. Nothing inspiring out of his guys. There were some 2-point, 3-point, 4-point performances all up and down that lineup. It was an absolute disaster. And you know what that means, Charlie? You get to pay out the long 20. And who are you paying the long 20 to? Well, you would be paying it to Spencer Sklar for Dameon Pierce, but he was on his bench. Oh, gosh, get that guy in the lineup now. He looked great. I'm sure Spencer will be starting him for the rest of the season. But you know who you will be paying? Oh, it's the goopy boy. It's Mr. T. Higgins, 59-yard touchdown in that Thursday night game. Beat out Debo's 57 last night, which was terrifying. But, yeah, wow, Tony, not only do you get a big win against Charlie, he has to pay you $20. Wow, bet you're happy at T. Higgins. Let's talk about T. Higgins a little bit. Yeah, I traded him to Tony. I got Jamar Chase. I traded Christian Kirk as well. Gave up a lot to get a star, right? And you know what? It was a T. Higgins week this week. The Dolphins absolutely doubled Jamar Chase the whole time, and Xavier Howard was limping around trying to guard T. Higgins one-on-one, and I think Xavier Howard ended up leaving the game because he was hobbling. So good on you, Tony. You get a new player. Your team is revived. You get a win, and you get $20. So that's awesome. Saw Tony this weekend. Every 10th word out of his mouth was T. Higgins. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun, let me tell you. But no, it was great. Anyway, high bench of the week, John Rast, 34.5 points from Josh Jacobs. Oh, my gosh, John, you lost by 2 points to me, and you had a 34-point guy on your bench because you decided to trade Chris Olave for Tony Pollard, which right now isn't looking so good, but you also had no other running backs, so getting a third one was a pretty decent idea, especially because you have some receivers. But then to throw him right into your lineup over Josh Jacobs, who's put up okay numbers so far, nothing exceptional, but dang, 34.5. You would have blew me out of the water, but you know what, John? You fall to 3-1, and your team looks phenomenal, guys. So that is the opening stats. We are going to send it over to Ryan over at the Recap Studio. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. And before we get into the matchups, I'd just like to address something that's been going around, guys. Oh, Brian and Ryan, they're just the same person. Oh, they look alike. Oh, they sound alike. Oh, Ryan should have an accent. All this, blah, blah, blah. How are we the same? Do you not see this right now? All right, you guys are stupid, all right? And we're just wanting to put that to bed, put it to rest. Ryan and Brian are here to give you the best content we possibly can throughout the season, right? Right. All right, now that has been dealt with, let's get into the matchups. And guys, we are starting with none other than Brian's matchup. And Brian, wow, absolutely pulls one out against one of the strongest teams in the league. John Rest, 121 to 119. Brian touched on a little bit. John had 34.5-point Josh Jacobs on his bench after trading for Tony Pollard. And man, did that screw him because Deebo Samuel almost did it last night. You know, we were hanging out last night, Brian and I, watching a little bit of the game, but we were like, this is stressful. You know, Deebo had that massive touchdown. I couldn't do it. I couldn't watch it. I knew it was all going to collapse. The both of us were just stressing out, sitting next to each other on the couch. And but hey, didn't get quite enough, less than 2 points margin of victory. And George Kittle had a touchdown called back. I don't know. I wasn't even watching at that point, but I got a notification. And then all of a sudden I looked and it was not there anymore. So that's pretty cool. But Rashad Penny erupting 28.7, his best game of the season. That game looked crazy. Honestly, I wish we had seen that. We were at the Ravens game together, and we missed a lot of those 1 o'clock games. It looks like that red zone slate was insane. That Seahawks-Lions game specifically, and there was a bunch of other really good ones. Tyreek Hill with another nice week. Jamar Chase, 12 points, modest, but hopefully that guy can get it going and be the star that we all know he is. And then, John Lamar not exploding this week, only 13 points against a messy, rainy game against the Bills. Debo was his top performer at 23, but some decent performances from the rest of his guys other than fucking Tony Pollard. So, John's got one of the strongest rosters in the league, and he is 3-1 second place, and he's going to be more than okay. Next matchup, Lynch and Ian. 158 for Mr. Lynch. Great stuff. Matt, wow. Gotta feel good when the team erupts. And you know what? It must have been that Russell Wilson was featured on this program, and I said he fucking sucks. And you know what he does? He goes out, puts up 27.5 points, finds his guy Jerry Jeudy for 15. Cooper Kupp does what Cooper Kupp does, 26 points. Nick Chubb with a nice week, and Edwards-Helaire, 22 points. Wow, everything was coming together. Lynch has got to be feeling good. He even had some points on his bench, and he's looking like a pretty nice team. When Russ and Jeudy play well, his roster looks a lot different, I got to say. It doesn't look like Cooper Kupp's just carrying the whole thing on his back, because Chubb's also very good. So you know what? Lynch's team's looking pretty nice. 5th place, 2-2. Mormon Soakers, 119. Kirk Cousins still not looking like a very good fantasy quarterback. Jamal Williams did great, though, in DeAndre Swift's absence. So you got to be happy about that. Khalil Herbert was okay. Cooks, 18 points, as always. And Diggs, not his best game in that rainy game against the Ravens. 119 isn't bad, though, Ian. 119 is a perfectly fine amount to put up. And I'm sure your team will be looking up. But you are currently 1-3 in 12th place. Yuck. Next one, we got Christian versus Kevin, the Fagoni Bowl, the inaugural Fagoni Bowl. Oh my God, what a concept that is. Anyway, Christian 4-0, his strongest week yet, shutting up the haters, 143.66. Wow, his team's looking good. 97 for Kevin Lamb, 0-4, 14th place, the opposite ends of the spectrum in this Fagoni Bowl. Christian, Derrick Henry looking good. CeeDee Lamb, but 39.9 out of TJ Hawkinson is the highlight of it. I mean, he puts up 15 points. Oh, all of a sudden Christian has 115, 120 points. Looks like just a decent week, but no, Hawkinson takes his team to the next level, putting up just about 40 points, 143 for Christian. Excellent. Kevin, not a lot to talk about on the other side, except for the fact that Jonathan Taylor picking up an injury. Let's see. He was in a walking boot, but still has potential to play on Thursday night. I'd be surprised if they rush him back for a Thursday night. If they were playing on Sunday, it might be a different story. So you might have Kevin Lamb might be without Jonathan Taylor for a week, and he is 0-4. So Kevin, that does not look good. Next one is getting goopy versus the Darnold Palmers. Both these guys are in Baltimore. A lot of shit talk was had, and Tony shuts him up 113-69 for Charlie. Oh my God, this is horrible, Charlie. I have nothing to say. 3 points, 3 points, 5 points, 4 points, 3 points, 5 points. Christian McCaffrey, the only highlight with 25, and Tony's season's revived. He gets 25 points out of Mr. T. Higgins. Not much out of Kirk, but that's okay. Brady had himself a game. Brady's in the news this week. Holy crap, is that going to change his season, all this Giselle stuff? Wow, don't want to see a divorce mid-season. But Tony, 113 points, modest total, but it's nice. It's good, certainly good enough. I mean, especially against 69 points. So Tony's back. He's 1-3. He's still in 13th place, but he's on the rise. Next one, we got Johnny and Joe. Oh, a nice rivalry here. Don't believe this one has a name, but always a nice one when these two guys face off, and Sedano pulls it out. 115-108. Mike Evans, 30 points. DK Metcalf, 21.9. His two top receivers looking great, carrying the load. Nothing going really from his running backs, quarterback, really anyone else on the roster. But hey, you have two guys popping off, so that's awesome. I saw that interesting little tidbit from, I believe it was Tony, that said, oh my gosh, it could have been if Joe had picked up the Giants defense back this week, he could have won. But no, he would have fallen a point short had he went the Giants over the Cowboys. So no coaching errors there. Bateman, I am not sold on Bateman. I know it was a rainy game. It was wet. He dropped a pretty crucial first down ball, and Ravens love to run the ball. So I'm still not sold on Bateman as a fantasy guy. But Waddle was a little injured in practice this week and didn't really get it going against the Bengals. And Joe falls to 2-2, 6th place. Sedano 2-2, 11th place. That leads into my next thing that Mr. Joe Nardulli brought up. This is the most 2-2 teams we've ever had. I believe there are 8 2-2 teams right now. That is mental. The most we've ever had through 4 weeks is 6. Most we've had is 6. There have been some years we've only had 1 or 2. It's been a mess of 3-1, 4-0, 1-3, whatnot. But yeah, 8, guys, 8. Crazy. Next matchup. Michael Weston, the Tokyo Knights versus the young Esquire, Spencer Sklar. 116-84 advantage Sklar. Sklar getting a great week out of Justin Jefferson after 2 quiet ones. Pittman didn't really get it going, his other stud, but that's fine. I'm sure he will. But you know what the real highlight is his rookies on his bench. Damian Pierce, 25.9 points, had that 75-yard touchdown run. George Pickens, 16 points. Guys, I got to say, fantasy outlook on Pittsburgh players, I think it's got to be more exciting if Kenny Pickett is in the game. I think I would love Najee's outlook going forward, and I'm sure Sklar might like George Pickens if he can slide him into his flex, maybe if DJ Moore continues to be as average as he has been. 84 points on the other side, though. Weston getting 0 out of Dalton Schultz, losing Javonte Williams, his second-round pick for this season. Oof. He's riding a quarterback carousel. He's got some hit-or-miss receivers. I like his receivers, I do, but you got to say there are some hit-or-miss guys. And then there's just the lone wolf, Joe Mixon, trying to keep that team together. Can't wait for Dak to come back, I'm sure. And I don't know, Weston, things could be heading south for you this season. We shall see. But both of these guys are also 2-2. What a surprise. Last matchup of the week, it is James Ortiz and the Mooney Tunes versus Eric Olson and Opium FC. Eric having a bit of a down week, only putting up 104 points. Eckler finally popping off for 34.9, but it didn't matter because the rest of Eric's team was average. Looks like he made a good trade for Olave for Pollard because he could have used an extra receiver. So good stuff there. Another. I think this is going to be the 4th time I've said it, but Andrews and Davis couldn't get anything going in the passing game in that rainy game in Baltimore, right? So nothing to be too worried about there because that game was pretty much a mess, and the Ravens absolutely blew it. Don't know what was good with their offense in the whole second half, but that's another story. Ortiz, 115, decent little total. Josh Allen, 23 points, always going to be good fantasy-wise. Hollywood Brown, nice. Melvin Gordon, negative 1.2, yuck. But, as was mentioned earlier in the program, looks like he might be the new RB1. I saw they signed Latavius Murray, but early reports are showing that they're going to send Melvin Gordon out there as their RB1. So we shall see if Ortiz can capitalize on that and maybe keep his season going, his hot streak going. He's won 3 in a row after dropping week 1. So good stuff from the Mooney Tunes. And that's all for the matchups, guys. We're going to send it back to Brian and get you guys through a quicker version of the preview show this week. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan, guys. And you know what? Let's, how about them Jets, huh? 2-2, nice win over the Steelers. Zach Wilson looking pretty decent. Maybe we can get that Wilson to Wilson connection going. That would be pretty special, especially for my fantasy team. But wow, exciting team to watch. You know what? All we can hope for is competitive football. And guys, New York football, is it back? Is that too soon to say? What, we 5-3? Can't remember the last. How many seasons did the Jets and the Giants combine for 5 wins total, and they got it through 4 weeks? Special stuff, guys. But hey, we're here to preview Week 5. And we will start on the other end. The Club Soccer Bowl, Weston, Ortiz. I was told no one cares about the average points per matchup. And you're probably right. We just want the wins, right? So we're going to cut that out and see how it goes this week. Weston, 3-2 advantage over Ortiz. But trending into this week, well, Ortiz's team is firing and Weston's team is collapsing. So maybe Ortiz can level it back up at 3 apiece. Next one, Rast and Eric. Oh, we have our first shutout of the season, the Olave Bowl. Oh, what do you think which way it goes? Oh, John Rast, 3-0 over Eric Olson over the years. Wow, I did double check that one. Awesome stuff, John. Maybe you can keep that going because you two have 2 of the strongest teams in the league at the moment. At least 2 of the top 4, I would say. Next one, guys, Sklar and Sedano. These 2 guys, rivals. How do they not have a bowl name? I don't know, but you know what? Sedano's wiped the floor with him 5-1 over the years over Sklar. Wow. Next one, the McGuire Bowl. Joe versus Christian. Whoa. Christian. You get destroyed in this one. 5-2. Joe has taken you over the years in the McGuire Bowl. Wow. You guys thought I was going to say something else, but no. Joe takes it 5-2. Next one, another dominant one. It's one of the Boston Derbies, guys. Lynch and Tony. Lynch 6-1 over Tony over the years. Oh my goodness. Gosh, Tony, you're not going to like that one. Lynch 6-1. Wow. Next one, we got Ian. We got Kevin Lamb. This one should have a name too. These 2 guys, I don't know. It's psychopaths. Lamb, 4-2 over the years. Very nice stuff. Been taking it to Ian. I believe this is going to be, 12th versus 14th place. So you guys are trying to dig yourselves out of a hole. So a pretty key matchup for the 2 of you. Trying to work your way back into the fold. Last one, me versus Charlie. And wow, I can finally say that I actually dominate one. I'm not like 5-1. 5-1 Charlie has only beaten me one time over these years. And I'm hoping to keep that going. You know, his team has had 3 horrible weeks, but then he had one really, really good week. So I don't know what to expect of that roster. Man's been offering me trades, but now I can actually say I will not be trading with him because I did not realize I was playing him. So I have that little rule. I will not trade with someone the week I'm playing with them. Maybe some of you guys think that's stupid and, you know, missing opportunities, or maybe some of you agree with it. I don't know, but I just don't like to do it. It just makes me a head case because then I'm just thinking way too much about it. And I'd rather just wait a week because I'm not in any urgent position to trade. I don't know. Got some assets, but we'll see. We'll see, guys. Not done trading yet, but maybe for now. Anyway, those are the matchups. Send it over to Joe at Safe Space. Have a great night, and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Marsh. Gentlemen, if you're watching this video, you're probably 2-2. If you got a better record than 2-2, you probably should be 2-2. If you got a worse record than 2-2, you probably fucking suck, but gentlemen, welcome back to Safe Space. And Marsh probably touched on this a bit in this video, but through 4 weeks, an unprecedented amount of parity in our league. Everyone's fucking 2-2. Nobody could separate this from that. It's the fucking slums. It's fucking communism. It's fucking socialism. This is what you get for fucking voting from Biden, Joe. You fucking lib. Unhinged. Gentlemen, welcome back to Safe Space. Marullo, fucking, do I look like shit, Marullo? Check a mirror, bud. Let's get to the submissions. I meant to mention at the top, but before we get started, Lynch fucking submitted a little late to Safe Space this week because he tells me he was in the hospital all day today because he threw out his fucking shoulder again because he had too big of a yawn yesterday at work. Best team, worst team action. BT dub T, as they say. Best team 4-0. Christian Borelli. And let me tell you this, Christian Borelli, one of the few in the league that I like and respect. I mean, I like most of you, but I don't respect you. And then there's Eric and Tony. Christian Borelli, Yak, United. Mahomes, how about it? Henry, James Robinson and Miles Sanders. That is just, that's a veteran pick by Christian. He goes into rounds 5, round 6, no running back, no problem. No problem. James Robinson, Miles Sanders, great picks. CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson, Chris Godwin, how bad? My neighbor's getting home. I don't want him to hear this. Okay, his door just closed. Weird. I film a fantasy football segment on Tuesday nights. You know, Christian, I called your team broad good last week when you were 3-0, and you dropped like what, 144 this week, which is incredibly impressive. Do I think you're going to get 40 points from Hockenson every week? No, I don't. But you're 4-0 nonetheless. Congrats, best team. Worst team. Charlie Carita. You know, fucking the boys are out in Baltimore. Little Fed Hill action. Saturday night, Tony takes a video. Charlie decides to fucking come at me. I'm on your fucking mind at 2 a.m., Charlie. My team's ass. Your team fucking put up 69 points this week. 69 points. You fucking talk shit and put up 69. You're too fucking tall at 69. Let's go to Charlie's team, which we've touched on this program before. Donald Palmer's dumb name. How do I get to the box score? I don't want to see the recap. I want to see the box score. Trevor Lawrence, 5.66. Joke. McCaffrey, how about it? Back. Michael Carter. Meh. Lockett. Meh. Drake London. Meh. Pitts. Worst. Pitts. Etienne. How's that working out, Charlie? They combined 6 points this week. Your second and third round picks. Fucking bet me $100 he's going to be better than me this week. And we'll get to this. But I hear he's throwing out some desperation offers. But hey, he's got Hopkins, Watson, and Brian Robinson. 3 of his 5 bench guys. Not playing anytime soon. What a genius this guy is. Shall we get to the segments, A? Giants playing in London this week. The segments, A. Who in this league do you think needs a cold slap of a reality? And I phrased the question to the lads. In London, eh? It's not there yet. I phrased the question in the text. Who needs a cold slap of reality? You could do it to a league member. You could do it to a player, a team. Everyone did the league. So we'll rephrase it like that. Who needs a cold slap of reality? Ian Jones. No commentary, just in general. Mr. James Ortiz. He's delusional. He's delusional if he thinks his 3-1 record is real. Mooney Tunes. Those wide receivers scared the shit out of me. Amari in a run-first offense, Hollywood with Hopkins coming back, and Mooney being a Bears offense where playmakers go to die. I'm not even sure Mooney is a playmaker. What was Tony's quote? James Ortiz with the brain cells of and everything that they are. Something like that. All-time Tony quote. Check Safe Space video 2 weeks ago. We got to get back on track. He also doesn't trust Kamara to stay healthy. Let's hope the Niners D puts up 20 every week. Something tells me Ortiz won't understand question number 2 again. Ortiz just never fucking gets the safe space questions. Last one. I'd like to give a cold slap in the face to James Ortiz. You don't know anything about respect, and it shows. I cannot wait to teach you. Saquon is back. Hell yeah, he is. And may have been the best first-round pick, not the worst. I don't know who that's a cold slap of reality in the face to. It might be the whole league besides me, but I told you so. Knock on wood, don't get hurt. Weston's team is heading down the tubes. Is Weston officially the first Gentleman's Club member of the year to lose a player for the season? And not just any player, his second-round pick? Needless to say, that's a cold slap of reality that doesn't need explaining. I love a sentence that starts out with needless to say and then ends with that doesn't need to explaining. The fucking grammar in this Loyola University, Maryland, baby. I kind of think this submission's a little bit fucked up. Weston's season might be over. Loses his best player out for the season. I don't think you need to tell him that. Weston, that was Ian, in case you want to take that out on him. Next submission. I'll give a cold dosage of reality to Kevin. 0-4 is what happens when you have other things to focus on besides the fantasy football. That classifies as the way it is in life. Next one. This pains me to talk about a person I care so deeply for, but Kevin Lamb needs some help. I get you just got back from your honeymoon, and I get you just got married, but Jesus Christ, Kevin, you're the defending champ. Start acting like it and just make a trade to help your team get ready in a position to win. Seems like someone forgot where their priorities are, and honestly, it's pretty disgusting. It's disgusting. I wrote a haiku for Kevin. A new year is here, but sadly, Lamb does not care. You are going to lose. I'm not sure if that's an actual haiku. All the literature majors in the chat, please chime in. Last one about Kevin as well. Kevin really needs to get his fucking act together. Embarrassment to the family. The Fagoni Bowl. The family. See you at Thanksgiving, Kev. Kev, I'll put a pin in this. The honeymoon's over. The wedding's over. The championship celebration's over. Welcome back to reality. Get it together. And Kevin, he won the league last year. People forget Kevin was one of the worst all-time Gentlemen's Club members before last season. Was it a fluke? Was it a fluke? People are saying, people are asking, people are questioning. Next submission, Spencer's a dark horse that no one's looking at. I don't know how that's a cold slap of reality. I don't. James Ortiz didn't even submit that one. He understood the question this week. Rast, you need a cold slap reality in more ways than one. Starting your victory lap in week 3 is naive. I said that last week. Ask Tony about how good he was feeling the first month last year. Olave trade was nonsense too, so old habits die hard. John Rast admits about himself. I need a cold slap reality. I get this fucking quote. Get this fucking quote. I really thought I was going to be the only undefeated team in Gentlemen's Club history for a second. Rast, let me take a second right here and think about what I'm about to say and try to phrase it kindly. You are a fucking moron. Year in, year out, we see rookie receivers come onto the scene. Last year, Jamar Chase. Last year, Jalen Waddle. Year before that, Justin Jefferson, just to name a few. Come onto the scene and elevate teams in our league like no other. Become top 10 players. So far this season, through 3 weeks, Chris Olave looks incredible. Incredible. And what do? You nimwit. You're 3-0. What do? You nimwit. You trade him for a backup fucking running back. What Tony Pollard do? Let's check. Let's check what this fucking genius got in return. Tony Pollard. Debo's bike rental. Horrible, stupid name. Tony Pollard, 1.8 points this week. Moron. This league fucking, the blood pressure. I can't sometimes. Last submission. Christian's team. I need to take a fucking moment after the rest. Christian's team is so fraud right now. It's so fraud. The 4-0 record is so unjustified. He will come crashing down when his tight end doesn't score 40 this week. Listen. I said Christian's team might be fraud last week. He has a good week this week. I think it's an anomaly, though. We'll see. I play him this week. Segue safe space submissions. Safe space. How we end every safe space. Every safe space episode. Yes, this is a safe space. And I am the Walrus. Safe space submission 1. I don't see any team that is far and above the rest or a true championship roster today. I agree with this. I mean, this was the open. This is us right now. Clustered together. No one's separating from the pack yet. Feeling really, really bad for my friend Mike Weston after the Javonte injury. May he rest in peace. Hey John, big matchup for us this week. May the best Gimp win. Next submission from Weston. Stunt on them hoes in heaven, Javonte. I gotta be honest, Weston, Sedan, and Sklar and I watched the games this weekend, the conglomerate. And Weston he took the injury better than I would have. He was probably in a little bit state of shock, but it's tough. Next submission, oh Jesus, the roommate for Life Bowl and the only married Gentlemen's Club member. Can't believe I missed it. I did get the wind that you have a sister. You also have a samurai sword. Probably best I wasn't there. Don't forget you agreed to name your firstborn son Ian if you lose this week. Lots of love. Ian kind of writes like a fucking second grader when where all of his sentences are like 5 words or less. Thank you to the commish for hosting me this weekend. Can't write sentences, but as a good host, I can attest to that. March Madness week 1, I'm there. Thank you for the Marsh family for allowing me to be an honorary member of the Ravens game. Marsh, have you just fucking admitted that you're a Ravens? I don't want to see the rival recap show with a Jet sweatshirt on. I don't want to see that. Just admit it, dude. On another note, I'm 1 win away from being back. Thank you, Marsh, for reviving my season. Tony, little Tony, I'll be pretty upset if I lose to you this week. Charlie, stop with the trade offers. I don't want your guys. Don't ask me for your guys. I don't want your guys. He needs a Monra back, or I'll wipe the floor with these clowns. Charlie's fucking trade, this is a new submission. Charlie's fucking trade offers make me sick. Not because they suck. That's obvious. It's because I know exactly what he's doing. He sends an egregious trade offer. It's a 3 and 4 teams a week, and we'll hope eventually someone accidentally accepts it, causing a huge stir in the league. But knowing that the trade will eventually go through. You know why Charlie's doing that? Because he's fucking desperate. He's fucking he knows his team sucks. Don't ask him if his team sucks. He knows his team sucks. Snake in the weeds. Snake in the weeds. Last submission of the week. Happy McGuire Bowl, baby. McGuire Bowl next week. Christian and I. Not Ian. Christian and I. Can't wait to slap you senseless on my way to 5-0. Listen. I've started out 2-0. First place, no problem. Last 2 weeks, been tough. I'm in a cold streak. And how fitting is it when Narduli is in a cold streak and he needs an old reliable to go to, get a win, and get back on track? How fitting is it that's the McGuire Bowl? That's really the essence. That's the truth. That's the core of the McGuire Bowl. So I'm pumped up about it. I'm pumped up about it. Gentlemen, week 4 in the books, week 5. We're in the season, baby. We're fucking in it now. We're not in the beginning. We're in the season. It's October. Have a great week. Go Yanks. Actually, they have a bye, unlike the Mets. Yikes. Godspeed.